So I got an IPA from Finback.
Oh, right on.
Nice.
Good brewery. And if you need to burp, go ahead.
Let it all hang out.
Lean in.
Other than that, we don't have any rules. Like I said, we'll hop into the conversation and we'll see where it goes. Are we recording?
We're always recording.
We're always recording. You ready to go? Let's go.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Beers with Nigel is poured for you by Dire Oil Graphics, promotional products and design. They cover your brand bumper to bumper with graphic design, promo products, and print. See what Dire Oil Graphics can build for you at direoil.com. That's DYEROIL.com.
Welcome to Smooth Jazz. Welcome to Beers with Nigel. It's a show about beer and other stuff. I'm Nigel. That's Nick.
I'm that other guy.
What's happening? Welcome to the show. We got James Higgs, a.k.a. Pass the Hops in the house. What's happening, man?
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Nah, but thank you for coming on, man. I've been an Insta follower of yours for a minute. I dig what you're doing. You got a whole lot of shit going on. But before we get to that, we got to tell one of our listeners, Junior. Shout out to Junior. You told us what your beer was, Nick. What we got there?
We've got. There's a cake in my boot. I figured you had to say it that way.
Is it from Texas?
You have to say it that way. You have to say it that way.
Vision Quest Brewing out of Boulder, Colorado. It's an imperial stout with chocolate, coconut, and vanilla. And now, Nigel, we play our game.
Yeah, we just discovered this dumbass game. Guess the ABV. It's a delicious beer. I'm gonna say that's about 10%.
What is it?
It's an imperial stout.
Imperial stout with coconut, vanilla, and chocolate.
I'm gonna go.
Ooh, a blind guess.
I'm gonna go 11-2.
Well, he was very specific.
So we're locking in a 10 and an 11-2. The actual retail ABV, 9.8.
I knew it. I wanted to say 9.6.
Y'all went over.
It was because it was in a can. It was in a can.
Yeah. And plus, you didn't even taste us. That's good.
I'm gonna say within 2% on a blind guess.
Yeah.
We'll give you the ding ding on that one.
Hey, let's get right into this, man. Tell us who James Higgs, aka Pass the Hops. Who are you?
All right, so yeah, like you said, my name is James. My hands in a whole bunch of pots. So I do work at Forager Brewery here in Rochester, Minnesota, and I've been there since 2015. It's probably like the third brewery that I've worked at altogether. I've worked at two other ones here in town, helped get a couple of them started and things like that, off the ground running. But Forager's always been home, so I stayed there, and I've been there the longest. I've always drank beer. I've been a part of beer since like 2000 and you name it, man. So it's always been it's always been beer for me. I've been in the industry since 2008 or 9 or so, selling beer, selling alcohol and things like that. So it's nothing new to me, that craft beer took off in this whole big old industry and things like that, and everybody loves it. So I'm just happy to be a part of whatever I'm doing in beer. So
that's cool.
It's been a blessing.
One of the questions we ask everybody when they come on the show, you say you go way back, you've been drinking beer. What was that beer that you drank that you're like, oh shit, this is not like what I've been drinking?
Well, the beer that got me into beer, the first beer I drank.
Well, let's go with both.
Well, because I'm black, so the first beer I ever drank was malt liquor. So Old English was like one of the first beers I've ever had.
Yeah.
The malt liquor. Obviously, I haven't been back since, but it's one of those things like, oh man, what does that taste? So when you start drinking beer, you always looking to find that taste that you had before.
Right.
Not a lot of breweries I've ever been to has ever even attempted to make a malt liquor or anything like that, but they've also done like Scottish ales and brown ales, so it has that same kind of characteristic to it,
right?
But not that same beer, that maltier flavor. I was always searching for that. But one of the beers that got me into drinking craft beer would happen to be Finnegan's Irish Amber Ale.
Okay.
And it was everything I was searching for. That brown ale, nice, clean taste, finish, light. You could drink it like 20. You could drink 20 of them. you know. And then all of a sudden it skyrocketed because my palate changed. I wanted more. I wanted to try more. I wanted to try more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how pretty much the beer where happened.
So
I think that's the first time we've had that answer.
Yeah, that's a new one. So what was it like? Obviously, you know, there's not a lot of my friends drink craft beer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Going from that, what was that like? That transition for you to be like, you know, I like this shit better, and not many of my homies are drinking it.
Oh, my homies, man, they literally call me the beer man. they call me the beer man because they know I'm doing beer first, and then everything else follows suit. You know, I do love my bourbons, I love my whiskeys and things like that. But when it comes to like hanging out and, you know, having a vibe, they know for sure they gotta have beer. You know, yeah. So a couple of them, even my newer friends and things like that, they're always taking pictures, sending me pictures. James, what do you think it is? What do you think this tastes like? Is this a good one? You know, so it feels good and humbling to have that experience going on with my friends. But at the same time, like I said, man, half of them don't even drink no beer.
Do you feel like you're dragging them with you?
Speaking of dragging them with me, I took a couple of them to Chicago like in 2019. And I was like, man, let's go to Chicago. Let's go to Chicago. It's a beer fest. It's a beer fest. And like, oh, Chicago. That's all they heard, Chicago. Like, nothing else mattered. We get to Chicago, and I'm like, dude, y'all coming to this beer fest? And they're like, nah, man, I'm going to just chill. I'm like, dude, we were supposed to go to this beer fest.
Yeah, we do. So, you know, you're digging beer. Obviously, your palate expanded. You think of, because, you know, for me, I'm kind of like you. I've always been a beer drinker, but there were certain things I was like, oh shit, that's a little bit different. And
right.
So I've always been not necessarily on the hunt, but I'll try anything, you know, just because I like beer and I like the way it's going. Was that the same way for you?
Exactly the same way. You know, I'm always open-minded. You know, like I tell people around here all the time, like beer is like artwork. You know,
yeah.
You look at a wall, you look at a painting, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I see a banana on the wall. And the next man, he might see something different. But I'm still gonna try it and interpret it how I feel like it is.
Exactly.
You know, people are always gonna say, "Oh, that's nasty beer. That's a shitty beer," and I'm like, it might be shitty to you, but somebody thought it was good enough to put it out, and it, you know. So I'm never gonna downplay beer. You know, I'm always gonna try things. I'm always open-minded to trying things.
So somebody told me not to watch that Space Jam movie with LeBron. They said it was terrible. I enjoyed it. It was, you know, for what it was. It was fine. I've watched worse movies.
You can't go in thinking it's, you know, an epic Oscar winner.
No, of course not. It was, you know, it was what it was. It was nothing wrong. James, you didn't like it,
man. So
I mean, he was hurting to say something there.
So in concept, Space Jam is an incredible movie series. You know, I don't want to call it a series. Incredible movie.
Right.
If you touch the classic, it has to be that great. So I'm not giving it a chance to be that great just because it was Jordan, you know. Right. And it was Jordan in the 90s, and it was Bugs Bunny and all this other stuff. And you do a remake, and I'm Don Cheadle. That wasn't even his best role.
Well, come on, the truth.
But it's like, come on, Cheadle, man. You ain't broke, are you? Are you fishing for checks like this? Oh, man.
He wanted to work with LeBron.
I get the come on. Man. LeBron calls, you're going to say yes.
I love LeBron. I've never hated on LeBron. But
look, full disclosure, I never saw the first Space Jam. So now I need to go back and watch the damn movie.
You gotta watch the first one. But the thing is, like, I feel like that first one was made for everybody. And this new one is just made for the kids.
You think?
I felt that way, man.
I watched it with an adult and she laughed. So
you know, I think that's we always like to do that though, right? Us the olds. Mm-hmm. You mess with something that was our youth, was our heyday.
Yeah.
It's tough
to be right.
That is true. That is true.
But I gotta think for the younger generations now, LeBron is to them what Jordan was to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not disagreeing with that.
But it's okay. Look, we can still say "Get off my lawn."
Get off
fuck with my movie.
Get off my lawn. Don't even come on. Don't come down my block.
So you're at Rochester, Minnesota, right? What city is that? How big is that city?
City's about 125.
Okay.
125K.
How's the beer scene there?
The beer scene. There's six breweries here in the city. You know, obviously every state has their top, they have their bottom, but I feel like everybody does just about a good enough job.
So 6 breweries, 125,000 people. That's about like us. We're 100,000 people. We got like 5 breweries.
Yeah.
So what's the next closest city?
Big city, it would be Minneapolis and St. Paul.
How far is that from you?
About an hour.
Oh, okay. So it's not super close, but close enough to.
But when you get there, it all hits you. You know, it's breweries right off the highway.
Yeah.
Breweries right in the inner city. Everybody's at them. You know, so yeah, can't have too many of them.
Are people coming out to where you are for breweries?
So where we are from Minneapolis into Toppling Goliath, I don't know if you were familiar with that, but
Oh yeah,
we're in the middle.
yeah.
So to go to them, you have to come to us.
Oh, so they're in the core, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Iowa.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, so you kind of on a nice brewery trail, if you will.
Correct.
If you want to do some breweries, yeah, we got a partner of ours in Spencer, Iowa, and he's kind of on south of maybe southwest of Minneapolis, St. Paul. So he's there's a lot of breweries up that way.
Yeah, it's a ton of breweries out this way.
So how'd you get involved with obviously you've been a beer drinker. How'd you get involved with Forager?
All right, so Forager came about. I was working at this other brewery just in town here, and they've always liked me. You know, they took a liking to me, and they were like, "We want you to be a part of ours. What we about to do? What we got going on?" And I downplayed it. I was like, "Man, I don't want to do another brewery. I don't want to do another restaurant. I don't want to do nothing else in the industry. This is gonna be my last run at it, and that's it." But my connection and my relationship with the owner was just so good that I was like, you know what, I'll give him a chance. I'll give him 1 or 2 days a week. And from that 1 or 2 days a week, it turned into 3 to 4 days a week till now it's the only job I have.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
So I've been doing some research. You've done several beers over there too. Tell us about those.
So I've done, the first one that I did was James and a Giant Peach.
Well played.
So, yeah, exactly. But it was bad planning, I feel like, because like we did a whole bunch of peaches, but the day that we was brewing the beer, it was like the polar vortex that we had up here. It was like -50. So imagine peaches trying to get to Minnesota at -50 degrees weather. So I think the peaches were at a premium or something like that. So it was kind of pricey. But you know, we did the beer. The beer came out. It did well and things like that. Then we did Pass the Hops, you know, off the Instagram monger, and then we went with that, and everything underneath is just follow suit. Like I've helped assist on a couple of different beer, breweries and things like that. Obviously, I've done some collab beers with the team and things like that. So it's just all been uphills.
So at what point did the Pass the Hops, the IG brand, become a thing?
That happened, like, I don't want to say overnight, but it felt like it was so quick and like natural, because like I said, people just took a liking to me. I probably can say, or you know, come up with a couple of reasons why, but at the same time, it's just like I went to a beer fest out in New York called Pastry Town.
Great beer fest.
Right, and my Instagram handle was my whole name.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I never been to a beer fest at this magnitude.
Was this the one in 2020, right before the pandemic?
This one like in like 2018. I think.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I was like, I never been to a beer fest in this magnitude. You know, I've been to so many fests, but I was like, I never been to one of this magnitude.
Yeah, that was huge.
And I was like, how do I fit in? You know, how do I fit in? And I'm meeting people, and they got Instagram handles, like real Instagram handles. You know, not like their name, like James.
Right.
Something that you can remember them by. And I was like, I probably should come up with something to change that. So I sat down with a couple other of my friends and things like that. We just came up with a name, and then I never really changed. But I was like, okay, that sounds good. And then I did a fest in Minnesota, and people were raving, "Oh, James!" I was like, man, no, there's a million Jameses in this world. Then I was like, I'm cool. I'm change it, Pass the Hops. And then all of a sudden, people got, you know, they took hold of it. Some people didn't even know my real name. They just called me Pass the Hops.
So is there a story behind the name Pass the Hops? Or is that
all right,
just
so it's an entendre.
Okay.
So I did play basketball, you know. Yeah, so you know, pass, hops,
Gotcha.
I can jump, I can pass, and then you got
I see.
You pass the drink, hops,
Yeah.
Wings, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an entendre, man. It's got multiple meanings.
So at what point, because you know, now on your Instagram it says public figure.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like to go from I just got a little Instagram account to all of a sudden you got all these people that are following you and that you're every move? Because you post a lot.
I do. I didn't know how to approach it, man. Because I'm in the industry, right?
Right.
I do the beer, but then there's influencing.
Right.
So I was like coming in, like, am I an influencer? Am I in the brewer industry? Am I like, where am I at?
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna just make it to be a personality kind of thing, and or whatever somebody wants to call me, I'll just go with that. So that's just basically what happened. You know, I do got my hands in a whole bunch of stuff. I got trolley tours, I got beer stuff going on, I got festival stuff going on. Obviously, I still work, so it's it's a good problem to have.
Yeah. You sound like you're as busy as me.
Yeah.
So you also have a podcast too.
I do. 5 Mics podcast.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So the premise of the podcast started over the George Floyd incident. You know, so it was me and my 4 boys. Actually, it only started with 4 of them. And they did an episode, and they reached out to me and was like, man, what do you think of this episode? What do you think of this show? What do you think we should do? A couple of other buddies were like, man, you should probably add me onto the show, you know, just get another opinion and things like that and get some more, you know, energy. And I was like, I never done no podcast. You know, that really wasn't what I wanted to do.
I've been in this call.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to hop on. So I hopped onto the podcast, and it was a great show. About 50 minutes into the show, they started calling it the 5 Mics podcast. And I'm like, do we got contracts? Like, it's the 5 Mics. I get it, but like, is that a formal way to ask me? Like, so yeah. But it's been a blessing, man. It's good to just be around the camaraderie of your friends, you know, especially during COVID. Yeah. To have an outlet, that mental outlet to be able to, you know, sit down and talk and chop up ideas and situations with your peers. And then, you know, like pretty much give it out to the world what your humble opinion is.
Yeah, I think that's right in Nick's wheelhouse, because his other podcasts are all political and things that are not fun like beer, even though we do get into some shit on here. Yeah. But he's probably like, yeah, I'm going to start listening to that one.
But I'll even say this, though, just like, you know, you talk about getting through the COVID and the pandemic and stuff. This was our thing every Wednesday, meeting up, doing this show. That got us through it.
Yeah, you know what time it is. One of the things we do on this show, we do mystery beers, right? So we got this bag that might have come from a golf course, might not have. Nobody's saying.
Yeah,
but you know, we keep it classy. I give Nick a. So when we started this podcast, Nick was not really a beer guy. He was a bourbon whiskey guy, kind of like you.
I drink beer. I just, you know, that's
so
all.
I started bringing him mystery beers, and it's something he's probably never. He's way more well versed now, a year and a half into it, but. I still bring him the mystery beers.
But we believe in tradition.
And we keep it classy because, you know, brown paper bags, you can't go wrong with that. You know what I'm saying?
Brown paper bag.
What do we got?
What we got there?
Ooh, a little BKS.
Oh, yeah, that was some of that beer karma. Somebody gave me that yesterday. I was walking out my house. What is that? I couldn't read that shit, so good luck.
Damn, we old.
Yeah, that's we need some podcast readers. We need some beers with Nigel readers, branded and shit.
Clouds, exactly. That's either a double IPA
I think it's a double
or a zombie IPA. It could be either one of those words.
Zombie double. That's alma mater, right? I think is that BKS.
That's BKS.
Yeah, BKS. One of the nice breweries here in town that. People clamor after. I'm sure you got some breweries up in your way that people like, oh, I gotta try to get that beer.
Oh, you know? man, yeah. So it's humbling to be able to work at one of those breweries that you just mentioned, like a destination brewery.
No, I've been following them, and I'm like, oh, they're fucking really popular.
Yeah,
but it sounds like their beers are really good.
Yeah,
do we need to guess the ABV on this one?
Oh, of course you do.
I'm gonna say.
No, hold on.
Double IPA. Oh, that's smooth. So they're trying to get people in trouble with that damn beer.
Well, I don't know what this is going to be, but I won't know it until I drink a few and then stand up.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's 8.9.
What kind of hops are there?
Would you see what kind of hops are in there?
I haven't tried looking at that small print yet.
Yeah, that print on
do it now. You got to do it now.
What do you think?
7.8.
7.8. That's kind of low for a double. Can you read the hops? It's Citra for one.
What did you say? What was your guess?
I said 9.8.
The actual retail ABV 8.2.
8.2.
Yeah, 8.2 is about average.
Can you read the hops? Probably not. I'm gonna have to talk to them. I'll be like,
look, typography is important, people. Come on.
So tell us about, you're doing the Charlie tours on Sundays.
Correct.
How'd that come about, and tell us what you're doing with that?
All right, so it's a humbling experience to somebody who would start a company and they'd want me to be like a front runner or the face of the company, and want me to engage people in trying to hop on these trolleys and do the tour. So it's every Sunday. We'll do the 3 breweries here, or we'll do the 6 breweries here in town. 3 breweries a week, alternating weeks, so we're not stressing out that one brewery.
Right.
We'll go 3 this week, and then we'll do 3 the next week, and then we'll go to the 3 that we went to last week, then previous. So it's an incredible experience. You do got to think that you can drink on the bus, so you get to drive, or you get it's like almost like a free Uber ride to each brewery that you go to. So it's been great and things like that. It's just more so recognition. And COVID is kind of, I don't want to say like coming back, but fear mongering. People they start talking, they start whispering to each other.
I think it's fair to say it's coming back.
But it's just like, in what denomination? Because I read something the other day and it was like, oh, Delta 2, 4,000 people a day can die. And it's like, okay, what kind of estimation is this?
Right.
4,000 people can go outside right now and die because of a car crash, so I'm not going to stop living my life because of it.
Right.
So it's just one of those things like, we got to play it safe, but it's been a blessing to be a part of something like this.
That's good. I swear you're as busy as me, because I got so many irons in the fire. Sometimes I'm like, hold on, can you ever say no?
See, you
have that issue?
The thing is, I learned this a long time ago. If you say no, there's somebody in your back pocket ready to say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
so
right
it's
about
like
that.
You have to go. You have to say yes.
Damn it, James.
There's gonna be somebody ready to say yes.
Bro, that's my biggest problem, because I work at 3. Well, I work at 4 breweries now.
Yeah.
Did you pick up?
I'm working at Crane now. I'm doing tastings for them. I'm doing a festival for them. I'm doing some production for them on Friday. It's a fucking shit show. But I enjoy it. That's why I do it. You know what I'm saying?
I think there's a difference between saying yes to everything and saying yes to the shit you like.
Boom. See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Saying shit to yes to the shit you like. Yes,
Yeah,
I mean, I do a lot, but I don't do anything I don't like, really.
That's good. But can we put that on a shirt?
Yeah.
Don't do anything you don't like. As I'm gonna die over here. So rule number 1 is don't die. One of the things we talk about on this show is like diversity, tap rooms and the number of brown women, LBGT, whoever. What's it like in your part of the world? Is it very diverse?
With the diversity?
Yeah. In breweries. No.
So Minnesota predominantly anyways, I think it's coming in close to about, I don't know, I want to say about 85 or 80% is white,
Okay.
So, and then everything else just follows suits. So where I stay at, thanks to like the Mayo Clinic and things like that, creating diversity and, hiring people from all these other cities, states, and counties and countries really too. So it's just like, I feel like it's not that diverse, but at the same time, it's one of those situations where it's growing, and that's women included, so, but let me think. I think there's only like 3 or 4 black people in this town that's like literally in the brewery.
Really? So you don't, like, clientele and stuff like that is not very diverse, huh?
The clientele is still going to be one of those same situations where it's just white people. You got black African Americans, you got Latin American, you got, Hispanics, you got everybody's here, but not everybody drinks craft beer, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing we talk about on this. Craft beer is still a niche. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
like, not everybody drinks it.
Yeah. So, one of our
not everybody does it, but everybody should. I think that's from the
not everybody does it, but
George
everybody should. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we just quoted George Michael on the podcast.
That's a first, by the way. That's a first.
But it sounds like that's one of your interests is trying to get some other people involved. In craft beer.
And that's what Pass the Hops is, man.
Yeah.
You see people's profiles and things like that, and it's a beer can.
Yeah.
And it's like, who's behind that beer can?
Right.
You never know because every post is a beer can.
Right.
I was like, let me do something where it feels like it's not even about the beer, it's about the people who are coming to the beer.
Okay.
Like an incorporator. I'm here to make sure things happen where it's like I could bring craft beer and culture and put it in one pot, stir it up, and then all of a sudden this is the product that comes out of it.
Right.
I don't want to be the guy that's like behind the beer of that one beer. It's like,
yeah.
If it wasn't for a beer, I wouldn't be here.
I like that it's focused on the people coming to the beer,
not
the people behind the beer. I like that.
Exactly.
I really like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, we just some partners of ours because Kansas City is not diverse when it comes to the beer community at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At all.
Are you on the Missouri side or the Kansas side?
I'm glad you asked that.
Hey, a lot of people don't know that.
That's what I'm saying,
and it's important,
and it's very important. We're at the Missouri side.
Okay.
So I got some partners of mine, and they're actually going to be the first black brewery in Missouri. Black owned.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Vine Street Brewing. I don't know if you've ever been to Kansas City. There's the Jazz District, and that's where the Negro Leagues baseball museum is.
And the Jazz Museum.
18th and Vine. They're going in that area. So we're hoping that's going to encourage some people of color to be like, oh, beer is good, because really where 18th and Vine is, you can go 3/4 of a mile, and there's like 12 breweries right there.
Let's be real. It is literally a block from the dividing line in Kansas City.
Well, that's true. That was when they did the redlining back in the day. 71 Highway. That was
the dividing line.
Yeah. So I'm with you. We're trying to, at least I am, and my homies are trying to, bring some, some other people into craft beer, because Kansas City has a lot of women.
Yeah.
I mean, we got 2 breweries that are women owned.
Okay.
We probably got 5 or 6 assistant brewers who are women.
Oh man, that's amazing.
We got one sister. She's an assistant brewer. So, we're kind of on the forefront, and the people we've talked to on this podcast are like, oh, you got a bunch of shit. Yeah. So we're on the forefront of that.
What, 4 or 5 women just got together for a collab?
No, they sure did. That collab, did that happen today? I think that was today. I don't even know. So I want to say, did you go to Fresh Fest in 19?
19.
Yeah. We always talk about that damn thing. Are you going to Barrel and Flow this year?
So I got to remember what the date is, but I feel like I got another fest lined up. So that
weekend of September 11th.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe I might be able to work it out, because I remember in 2018, right? 2019. That was the same week of another fest that's in Wisconsin, and that's like one of the biggest Midwestern fests. And I was like, I was torn, but I was like, Black Fest or a brew fest highlighting black breweries.
Right.
I missed the first run. I definitely got to make the second one happen. And I kid you not, that's at like the top 3, top 5 beer fest I've ever been to in my life. Not even about the beer. It's more so about the people that showed up. I'm walking around a beer fest. They're playing music that I grew up on.
Yeah.
They got dancing going on inside. I'm like, oh, like, what is this?
I was there.
I was like, what is, they got the food that I ate. It's like, oh, what is going on, man?
Yeah.
Like, I felt like it was like Twilight Zone. I was like, what is this? And then, even when like the general admission crowd came in, it still was like, everybody is here having a great time at Black Barbecue.
And it was everybody. It wasn't a black beer festival. It was not that.
Right. A lot of people were like, oh, it's a black beer fest. I'm like, no, it wasn't a black beer fest.
It wasn't at all.
It's Pittsburgh. I don't think there's that many black people there in the first place. So it's like, it was just like one of those amazing times. I remember I myself stayed in a house with about 7 or 8 other people, Instagrammers and things like that. A couple are in the industry and things, but we all stayed in one house, and we had a big old beer share.
Were you with Afro Beer Chick?
That's my girl.
Shalanda. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Shalanda's my girl. Yeah, we stayed in the house together. She drove us around the whole weekend. I ain't gonna talk about her driving skills, but hey, I'm still here today. So
there you go. There you go.
Look. You got to talk about her driving skills with a little respect.
All right. I'm pretty sure she learned how to drive in Chicago.
There you go.
There you go.
But if I was a set of brakes, if my life expectancy was to be a set of brakes owned by her,
she'd have been gone.
Oh,
I'm done for.
She was our first repeat guest.
Yeah, she sure was. Yep. Yeah, so we probably passed each other at that fest because I was there.
Yeah,
and you know I did talk to Shalonda while I was there.
Yeah,
we've had Ed and Day on. We need to get them on again before
the festival.
Barrel Flow. But yeah, that was still to this day. You know, 2 years later, I'm like, that was the shit.
The
beer festival. It
was
really was. And
like,
I thought
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh was cool.
Cool. It was dog. Like all those bridges, all the water. I'm like, it's the Steelers only, and like a whole bunch of people mining something. But like it was a good experience, man. Nick and I will be there.
We'll be there.
We'll be there this year, chopping it up with the folks.
Are you guys going as guests, or are you trying to get some content for the podcast?
Yes.
Well, you know, we didn't since there wasn't one last year. You know, after 19. You know, I bought VIP, and you know, so we're gonna do the VIP thing again. And who knows? I don't know. Are we doing a podcast? Who knows?
Yeah, whatever.
We're gonna do whatever. We're gonna
something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be real. We're doing the show because you went to that festival.
That is true. That's the reason this show came about.
That
because
changed your approach to doing things
because of drinking partners, and then I learned about the fest, and I was like, we should do a podcast.
Yeah.
And so
the line was, I got shit I want to say.
That's how everything starts.
Exactly.
It's better than, honey, we got to talk.
Look, if he comes to me with that line, I'm worried.
So have you guys had any fests up there this year yet, or what's the story?
Oh, let me see. So we got a fest this weekend coming up, actually, up in All Pints North. So it's pretty much the grunt of all the breweries that are in the guild will go up to Duluth. You know, it's up north and pretty much just party for the weekend and put on a nice little beer fest and things like that. 2 weeks ago was the Pride Fest, you know, because it was Pride Week. So we did the Pride Fest up in the cities. So yeah, it's beer fest season.
So when you go, what are you doing for the brewery when you're going to these fests?
So when I go to a beer fest, I'm pouring. Okay. I'm getting people to come to my tent. People are going to come to the tent, kind of feel like they, you know, with Instagram and social media, people are going to want to say what's up to me or take a picture with me. Or you've been talking to me for what, a year and a half, 2 years. Now you get to finally meet me.
Yeah,
and it's just like that situation happens.
So you're a celebrity.
Thank you for saying that, but I'm broke.
Hey, there's plenty of broke celebrities out there, bro.
I think that's actually the way you celebrity.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm MC Hammer then.
No, MC Hammer still got some money. Don't do trip.
Right, I think he hid some away.
No, but yeah, that like I said, that's still humbling too. You know, people to be able to sit down and be like, "Oh my God, James is a popular guy," but at the same time, I'm still going to sit down and talk to you. As in, I'm still your friend. You know, it's never been like, oh man, get away from me. Don't come around me. You ain't worthy enough. It's always been like, I want to meet you. Who are you? What are you about?
Yeah. I mean,
that's beer.
It's beer.
That's craft beer.
It's about, like you said, it's really about the people. Cause even at Fresh Fest, when I went, I drank some beer, but not as much as I should have.
Dude, I didn't drink no beer. I think I had like 2 beers.
You know, and I got stuck. I got stuck on because the ones that stood out to me was Trogs, out of Pennsylvania, and then Weathered Souls, Marcus.
Yeah,
that's when I met those guys.
Yeah,
you know, I was just I hung out with them for 2 hours just drinking their stouts
at his tent.
Yes,
and he was like right there in the courtyard, and they were like raw. They were like raw, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, I drank some of just about everybody's beer, but I wasn't drunk. I wasn't buzzed.
No,
I was more so just taking everything in.
Yeah,
I was hanging out with Tio and Benny majority of the time though.
Yeah,
over at the Crown of Hops tent, which was pretty much facing the Weathered Souls tent.
Yeah, and they just You see, they just released that they got a location in Inglewood.
They got a location going.
I'm still trying to get them on the podcast. They want to come on. They're like, we're really busy. I'm like, I get it.
So busy.
You know, and it's crazy because I got some friends of mine in LA that they've been doing some work. They have a production company and they've been working with Crowns and Hops. Mm-hmm. So I was like, y'all need to make that happen for me, or at least get me the beer. So they got the beer for me.
Yeah.
But the beer is still sitting at the house. I'm like, send me that damn beer.
Yeah.
Beer is wasted because my homies in LA, they don't drink craft beer. They love what Crowns and Hops is doing because it's they're a brand before they're in 800 places.
Yeah.
But they don't have a brewery.
Right.
So now they're to the point where they're going to do a brewery, and they've raised like some ungodly amount of money already.
And that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
People want to see them do a good deed,
Yep. So,
and it's about time too. So
what kind of you obviously you kind of intimated that you drink just about everything. Do you have a particular style that you gravitate to that you like to go when you go to a brewery? What do you drink?
A good beer.
I like it.
So if I come to the brewery and I see your menu, if I see your IPA and it's got the hops that I love, I'm ordering it first. If you got a nice little Pilsner on or a lager on, I'm gonna drink that second. Stout's gonna be third. Okay. Sour's are fourth.
What's your hop of choice? You got a particular hop of choice.
I got three.
Okay.
I got the Strata hop.
Okay.
The Galaxy hop.
Okay.
And the Citra hop.
All good ones right there.
Man, if in some breweries eat all three of those are in one beer.
Oh, absolutely. They do a lot of that here.
Yeah, and I'm ordering that 5 times. I'm ordering it 5 times. Stouts, I like imperial stouts. I like the bigger, heavier, robust stout.
Yeah.
Thick like motor oil. A lot of viscosity going on in it. I love those stouts, but I'm not sold on. It's got to be sweet. It's got to be sweet. Put all the coconuts. Put all the adjuncts in it. I like a well balanced stout that I'm tasting and it's like, what did you put in it? And then they say nothing, and that surprises me more. Sours, I'll drink just about any sour, just because sometimes you need that palate cleanser. It's like a reset.
That's what Nick has learned because when he first came on the
episode
pod, he didn't like sours.
Yeah,
episode 2. He was all about the sour.
Gimme.
Like, switch it up.
So we know
I just went to a sour house in Dallas last week. Beard Science.
That's a great name. Beard Science. So I know you're on borrowed time. We're gonna do one more mystery beer before we let you go.
What we got?
There you go. I lost a paper bag apparently. So you get that. I don't know if we've had that one before, but
we have not.
Okay, we're going
Hailstorm Brewing.
Out of where? Does it say?
I don't know. It's the Nilla Fluffer Nanner Nutter.
Nilla Fluffer Nanner Nutter. Is that an imperial style? What is that?
It is imperial milk stout, brewed with vanilla, marshmallow, banana, and peanut butter.
Okay.
Trying to figure out where this is from. I have no idea.
That may be out of Chicago.
Oh, Workforce Brewing Company. Right, sorry. The logo right under my thumb was the.
Does it say where from?
There might be more letters under there, but
we really had to bring some readers, to this podcast. So where you going on this date? That's the real question.
Are you asking for the pass the hops moves?
A literal pass the hops.
No, I can't give out the secrets, man. Yeah.
Bro, you're in Minnesota. We're in Kansas City. You good?
If this is a dating guru podcast, I hook you up, but I can't give.
Look, trust me.
It's all in the wrist, man.
It's all in the wrist. Oh Lord Jesus! That smells good.
That tastes fantastic. That's a dessert beer. Or breakfast.
I'm gonna say.
And you are right. It's in Tinley Park, Illinois. So just right outside, like inner city Chicago. It's actually inner city Chicago.
Okay. Yeah, I got some friends of mine, or a friend of mine who goes out there for business, and he drives. So he went to some store, and he's like, "Put in an order, I'll pick it up." Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that's 10.2%.
Lock that in.
I'm locking it in. Final answer.
Final answer.
Oh,
That's a 9.5.
Okay, I was close. What did you think?
9.5.
You wasn't motherfucker.
But it's like it's the only thing on there that's giant print. I couldn't not see it when I opened it.
Man, if I knew y'all was gonna be drinking stout, I would have grabbed the stout. Not that IPA.
As far as we're concerned, Nigel, what season is it? Always.
It's stout season.
It's stout season all the time.
It's always stout season.
It's beer season.
But a lot of people don't understand that because all right. So here, since we're doing full disclosures of not watching Space Jam, full disclosure, I think I had my first Guinness this year.
Really?
Wow.
And a lot of people love Guinness. When I drink Guinness, I was like, I always boycotted Guinness because I thought it was gonna be some big stout, heavy. Mm-hmm. I couldn't drink it. That thing was thin.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been running away from this beer because I didn't want it because I just thought it'd be a big beer. And I was like, I could drink like 400 of these.
Yeah. I think it's a big, heavy stout for those that don't drink the craft beer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a session stout. That's what that shit is.
Right. But I think, if you're not going to your neighborhood breweries and checking out their stouts, you don't know what a big stout is.
Correct.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's like at the brewery, we got an English dark mild, right? Mm-hmm. Shout out to Tony at Windshift. And people were scared because it's dark. It's a 4.5% beer. Right. So I gotta coach them up. I'm like, just try it. It's not. It's dark.
The notion of it's gonna be dark.
Let Uncle Nigel tell you what you're drinking.
Right. Just because it's dark doesn't mean it's bad. Right.
I feel like that's a shirt.
That should be on the shirt for reals. So so what's you got coming up? You doing any beers? What's on the horizon for past the hops?
All right, so there's some stuff to look forward to. Like the summer's still young. I know Atlanta's on the docket.
Yep.
South Carolina might be still on the docket. Trying to line up North Carolina. Miami, Florida, I love it down there, man. I love it down there. Them people crazy down there, and I love crazy. So.
Yeah, Florida's different.
Yeah, Florida's always an option. So there's a whole bunch of stuff coming up, man. So I'm just getting ready for everything.
Right on. So tell people where they can find you on these social medias and
all such. Right, so every social media that I'm on, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Pass the Hops, PASSTHEHOPS at Pass the Hops. You'll find me, and I'm available. Obviously, I'm a Spotify published through the 5 Mics podcast as well, and that's 5 like the number 5 MICSPOD pod. So you can find me just about on every social outlet.
No beer Twitter?
I don't tweet, man.
Your Twitter's so lit, man.
All that. I don't like to read a lot, man.
I don't.
That's why 140 characters right there.
I don't like to read a lot.
I don't read.
So if somebody's coming to Rochester, Minnesota, obviously we're going to come to Forager. Where else should we go? What are the hot ones?
Little Thistle.
Okay.
LTS.
Okay.
And Thesis Brewing. That'll be my top 4.
Okay.
Of where I would go. Like I said, everybody else is doing, well enough, good enough beer. It's just like if I was coming here, I'd make sure I hit those places up.
Gotcha. So if somebody comes to your city, what days do you work? They're going to see Pass the Hops in person.
So the days that I work aren't the days you'd want to come to hang out with me. You'd want me on my off day. That way I can actually hang out with you.
Well, we might want to see what kind of beertender skills you got. You know what I'm saying?
All right, come through, man. I'm there. I'm there Monday. No, I'm sorry. Mondays and Thursdays are my only off days. Every other time you'll find me there.
Right on. Road trip. How far is that from you? Do we know? I don't know.
So Kansas. You're looking at it probably about a good 8+.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? I just did that. I did KC to Dallas.
Yeah, you went to Dallas. Yeah.
You're
cool.
That'll work.
Yeah, so and like I said, I had to bring that up because I remember my sister lived down in Kansas City, but she lived on the Kansas side too, not the Missouri side.
Right.
I was mailing her some stuff, and it never got there. Because I sent it to the Missouri side instead of the Kansas side.
Yeah.
What kind of life is this?
It's a weird life, man.
Yeah, so I'd understand you guys probably go through that all the time.
Well, I mean, people get confused because this is the deal. You know this. There's a street called State Line.
Right.
One side of the street is Missouri. One side of the street is Kansas.
Correct.
And people get confused. They think, you're at Kansas City. No.
Like 90% of the good shit, it's on the Missouri side.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. They got some good breweries on the Kansas side.
Yeah. They do.
Yeah, they really do. So
they do.
They're coming up just like Kansas City MO. So tell us where they can find us, Nick, on the things.
You want to find us on the socials? You can go to Beers with Nigel on the Twitter, on the Insta. I didn't even know we were on the Insta until recently. Beers with Nigel on Facebook. You can listen to us, the Beers with Nigel podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or really any of your favorite podcast apps. You can even, if you got one of them Alexa devices, hey Alexa, play the Beers with Nigel podcast.
Oh, that's fire.
We haven't done it yet, but
I have. It works.
It works good.
Yeah.
So
I like to say it out loud because sometimes it'll work on their speaker while they're listening.
I would attempt to do that, but my dog ate my cord. So I can't say hey Alexa anything. I can do hey Siri, but I can't do the hey Alexa.
We're gonna do a GoFundMe for your cord.
If you
go to the store, I forget to buy one too. So yeah.
If 5 mics started working with a certain producer, you might get 5 mics to do the Alexa thing too.
Hey,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
We'll talk after the show.
All right, drive safe, kids.
Hey, we're gonna hit a button.
You've been listening to Beers with Nigel, a show about beer and other stuff, hosted by Nigel Woodbury and that other guy, Nick Parker. Beers with Nigel is poured for you by Dire Oil Graphics, providing bumper-to-bumper graphic design, promo products, and print services. Find them at direoil.com. Beers with Nigel is a proud member of the Fredcast Network and is available on all of your favorite podcast flavors. Find Beers with Nigel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and ask Alexa to play the Beers with Nigel podcast.